it's hard to kind of see why it's good, but a bad book, it can be very easy once you start pulling at that thread.
And we've got about 10 minutes left, so we're going to pound these out. What's up, man? What's your name?
Hi, I'm Todd Black. I'm a writer, and this panel is the reason I got the comics. And you've said it multiple times. Thank you. And I come here every year. This is my panel, this is my event, and I come here to show you that I have listened to you, that as a writer I have taken the time, made the money, got the artists so I could make comics, and to this day, I have 24 comics in my name,
Awesome.
and a novel.
Yeah.
And my plan is to get into Marvel. I would love to talk to you about maybe getting my shot if that's even possible, even if it just means you reading my comics. I'm still making comics. I'm going to be working with Source Point Press. I'm working with Silver Phoenix. I'm doing everything I can, and I'm just putting myself out that for you, so that one day I can be on that panel. Right?
Yeah,
That's great. Yeah.
So.
And you can probably buy some off him. He's got loads there. So.
Oh yeah, I'm actually in Artist Alley at a table I8. So if anyone here wants to meet me or buy my books, that's the important part. You can meet me out there at the panel. So
Great, thanks, man.
I'll see you all soon.
Thanks, man.
No, I in Artist Alley.
Hey, what's up, man? What's your name?
I'm Eric Bass.
Hey, Eric.
I am Eric Bass. I am Eric Bass. If you just look for that, you'll find me. A real quick two-parter. Jordie, what do you use to color? And what was the first break, other than Marvel, that you guys had?
I use Photoshop CS5. I refuse to update. I'm surprised I got the applause, but yeah.
That's the best one.
You want first breaks like down the line?
No, just like before you got Marvel.
Yeah. You just want all of us or just Jordie?
Everybody.
I wrote, this is a weird one and everyone's gonna ask me about it later, but I wrote a comic for the Wu-Tang Clan called 12 Reasons to Die.
Wu-Tang!
I wrote it with RZA and Ghostface, and that was sort
Oh,
of
that was
my,
you? Oh, okay.
yeah, that's me. And that's
that was me.
yeah, it's not, you don't need to track it down, it's fine. But that's my first published work, and it sort of opened like half a door. And so that's my first thing.
I'm still listening, I'm just gonna sit.
The first ever thing I did was just like a fill-in thing for a friend of mine who was doing webcomic. But the first published work I got was, like I said earlier, I answered Jonathan Hickman's post on the Bendis board. So I recommend that. Work for Jonathan Hickman. I think he had just started on Fantastic Four or something. It was like his first slate of Image books. So I did that, and then I ended up getting to be good friends with the artist, so I ended up doing another 2 books with that same artist and Hickman, and now I've done 5 Hickman Image books.
I adapted an episode of Thundar the Barbarian into a comic book.
Greatest television show ever.
Because I was tired of doing spec scripts and I was having trouble doing something on my own. So I did that and made little mini comics of it and handed it out at a bunch of conventions, including New York Comic Con. Gave one to Rob Liefeld. And he liked it, and a little while later he asked me to draw The Covenant, which was an Image book that came out. That was my first published.
I'm going to talk fast because we're almost out of time. My first break was almost like an anti-break. It was like Declan Shalving, actually. I really needed money for rent, and I had that epiphany, like, oh, I can make money in comics by coloring them. I never thought so. And Declan was like, oh, I really need a colorist for this thing. And I was like, I need rent money. I will try. And he's like, you're never going to get it. And I was like, I might get it. Tried. Did not get it. And then immediately after that, though, he had sent those samples that I had done to his friend, Stephen Mooney. And Stephen's like, oh, this girl you're dating seems kind of talented. Would she want to color some stuff for IDW? And I was like, I need rent.
Yeah.
And that was my first break. It was literally like survival. Like I had to pay to eat at things. So that was my first big break. Oh yeah.
Eating?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's really good.
Oh boy, yeah. Poverty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Marvel was my first break. Sorry, guys.
Remember that luck thing we were talking about?
Actually, my first break was so Robert Kirkman, who's the Walking Dead guy. He kind of a big deal. He did an anthology book before he was a big deal, and She asked me to draw a short 8-page story for that thing, and I drew it, and like it was terrible, and no one bought it. But it was good to be able to hand out to other people, and that helped me get further jobs and work out more, basically.
I'll be quick. My first break was 2018 Judge Dredd strip.
That's great. Hi.
Hi, my name is Yvette D'Agostino. I'm from Shallow Grays Magazine. I actually got a really quick one. What about young artists that are like early teens, and what they do is they get their inspiration and so they can draw Wolverine, they can draw Spider-Man, they can draw all that. How do they themselves kind of get into their own, so that they can find their kind of artistry? You know what I mean?
When I was 15, I was making my own comics. I was photocopying them, and selling them at school. And to get even more sales, I would attach a fun-size Mars bar to the front and sell them a lunch break. And it was great.
No, I
Selling
think
my own comics.
you just said it, like mini comics. Like, how many of you guys work on mini comics?
Right.
And it's just like you go to a Kinko's or, you know.
I used all my dad's Xerox toner. I got in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
He was like, this costs a lot of money. And
Now with home printers, yeah, it's much easier. And so you would make mini comics. I think nowadays the mini comics that people make are basically web comics where they draw stuff, scan it in, clean it up maybe a little bit, put it online for people to see, and just keep doing that. I still see some kids make mini comics, Xerox comics, but sharing your stuff on social media, putting it on a Facebook page that's individually dedicated to that comic strip. And then they can also see themselves get better if they keep updating it. So if they go back a year, they go, wow, I was terrible. This is completely different now.
Facebook reminds me of my old art plenty, and I'm not fond of it.
You get those updates like, hey, remember 2 years ago?
Remember when you
I can't
Posting
tell if
comics on
like
Tumblr is great.
sorry, Tumblr.
Tumblr, yeah.
I was just gonna say, I can't tell if like you're a mother or something asking on behalf of your children, or if you see young people.
No, actually, with magazine, my son actually has just started doing artwork
that's
for
awesome.
me, my 14-year-old.
That's awesome.
But he's really talented. He's been drawing for about 6 years, and he loves doing video games. He loves doing Wolverine. He can peg that, and I really want him to be able to transition to find him.
To find his own
He
style.
doesn't want to come up.
To find his own style.
Because I was just gonna say, I think encouragement and support go a long way, and just encouraging him to also tell his own stories and not just look and repeat what he sees, like, because everybody like draws Wolverine and Jim Lee stuff as a kid. But be like, you know what, kid, maybe you should tell your own story, and like let him start telling his own story, and also constantly put art into his brain, movies, films, like TV, comics, books, and that way he learns so much, and that big juicy brain gets bigger every day, and the more he's drawing, the more he's like, oh, draw every single day as well. That's great advice, and that will just like naturally start building up that talent and that portfolio.
Style comes over time. So I think if he's trying to be an artist, just focus on being like the best artist he can be by learning anatomy and perspective and all the other stuff. And as he's doing that, he's gonna actually figure out who he is as an artist, and it'll come. You don't have to push it. It'll happen.
Your taste in stuff like that broadens over time too. As you get older, you'll see more things, more influences come in, and then
And that's exactly what I've been seeing as he progresses, you know, with making his own comics. So thank you very, very much.
Yeah, keep
Thank
going.
you
Keep
very
doing what you're
much.
doing, yeah.
And time's up, but if after the panel you guys want to chat, I'm happy to talk a little bit more if you want. I think we can squeeze in one question. What's your name?
My name is Justin. It's just a quick question. What advice do you guys have for those of us who are just trying to letter?
I think that's an editorial.
Oh my God, why is this only on me?
Okay, I'll very because I talk like super duper fast. My best friend ever in comics is Clayton Coles. I wish Clayton was here. We would like invite him up here. He works for DC, and I would say like what I hear Clayton complain the most about new letterers is people who just don't understand design. So you really need to understand and have a great background in design and ask questions like I think it was Christina earlier who was just saying, pick up a good book and be like, I like this, but pick up a bad book and look at why the lettering is so bad, and to promise yourself you'll never do that. Make sure you're not doing these terrible misregistered balloons. Make sure that you're considering the size of the text, consider different art when you're lettering things, and more than anything, always talk to other letterers. You'd be very surprised. They all work so hard, but they are a very, very small part of the community that I don't know if they get asked this question a lot, so when they are approached, they're like, let's talk. I don't have a lot of friends. Let me talk to you and tell you everything. So if you ever approached a letterer, any of VC who letter everything exclusively for Marvel, they're all on Twitter, Joe Sabino, Clayton Coles, Joe Caramagna. All these guys are awesome. Chris Eliopoulos. If you get into any of these guys, like, hey guys, would you just mind looking at my portfolio? They'll look at it, and even better, they'll rip it apart because they have no time or tolerance for badness. So if you really want to break into lettering and get onto any of those guys and study the hell out of design.
There's also some really good books out there, and I'm about to get flack 'cause this is a Marvel thing, but there's a DC's Guide to Lettering. Pick that up and study it, because it'll teach you at least the basics and the theory behind lettering, because it's not just slapping balloons on a page. It's really taking into account how people read when they look at a page and guiding your eye through the art, which is the most important part. You're trying to guide somebody through the page in the correct order, but also making sure that you're hitting certain beats and certain tones and certain moments in the art.
And we gotta wrap this up now.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, speak to the guys in Artist Alley. Everyone's around, and look in the credits page and find out who did the book, and then contact them on social media. I want to say thanks to the guys who came up here to talk on the dais. Thanks to you guys for coming out. Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you so much.